Tammie. Excellent. Welcome back to Western New York Tonight. I'm your host, Tammie Lee Demler. Also to those listening in on WLNF 90.5 FM, welcome back. We have joining me tonight Marty Gregoire.
Gregoire.
Yeah, Gregoire. I said I took Spanish, but that's French.
It makes me sound important.
I know, it's very fancy.
Yeah.
He's the founder and president of Footsteps of Western New York. And before I go any further, for people listening in on the radio, give us the website for this
It's www.footstepsofwny.org.
Perfect. And do you have a telephone number? Because some people aren't on the web.
It's my cell phone, and I don't mind if anyone has questions to call. It's area code 716-864-6701.
Perfect. And we're talking a lot about cerebral palsy and the fact that you have that diagnosis and that you've had a journey throughout life. Mm-hmm. Certainly you reflect and you acknowledge your blessings because you're able to advocate and you're able to help other people because the severity isn't as severe as some others.
Right,
so it's a range of severity. But just talk, if you would, just to give a sense of even just your well-being today had to do much with the journey that you've taken and all the surgeries that you've gone through.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
Well, when I was born and diagnosed at the age of 2, one of the first surgeries I had, because my left leg was shorter, they noticed that I would walk, they call it toe walking. And my left leg would actually walk on its toe and reach, and that Achilles tendon was so tight, that's why I did that. So when I was 2 years old, they lengthened it. And I have a scar that goes probably from my heel till about here. Mm-hmm. And whatever they did back then to lengthen it, they did. And,
did it work?
It worked temporarily.
All right.
As you grow and your muscles grow and your tendons grow, what happens is, in some cases, that contracture just is overpowering. Mm-hmm. So then again, when I was in 5th grade, they re-lengthened the Achilles. Mm-hmm. They did it a little bit differently now, arthroscopically, with 3 little pinholes. So I'm like an evolution of surgery procedures.
Yeah.
And that kept, and it's been good ever since.
Okay.
And then I went through life and, was able to play sports with my friends and run around and, play football. And we actually investigated a lift at the time, and back then the materials they used, I did not want to, I couldn't run and keep up with my friends if I wore the shoes that they made back then. So I kind of sacrificed it in order to be one of the guys. And I went all through college playing intramural sports and those kind of things. And as I got older, I felt, that like the day after I would do an activity, my muscles were so sore and my joints were so sore, and I couldn't rebound like couldn't recover like I used to. Mm-hmm. My body was breaking down because it's designed, again, like I said in the earlier segment, to walk and work a certain way. When you put stress on the joints, it's wear and tear that it's not designed to manage. So I started to walk a little bit more bent-kneed, more crouched over. Everything was tightening up, and I just kind of dealt with it by trying to stretch. I would have to stretch for 20 minutes for it to be loose for 10, and it was...
So you had to keep stretching.
Had to keep stretching. It's a losing battle. Like I said before, your brain's telling your muscles to tighten, and I'm telling it to stretch. Who's going to win, So I kept doing that, and I was like, I started getting massages and chiropractic and, being in the pool more and just kind of working all these things. But when I was 29 years old, I remember December 19th, I actually fell to my knees crying because I didn't know where to turn. Mm-hmm. And I woke up the next day refreshed, and I came across an article about a revolutionary and somewhat experimental procedure that a reporter at CNN had gone through. He was the same age as I was. Sounded like the same type of cerebral palsy. I didn't know if he walked like me, but we looked like we could have, hung out together. So I said, I'm going to look into it. It's called selective dorsal rhizotomy. It's performed by a lot of different surgeons around the country. This surgeon that can do it on adults is Dr. Park in St. Louis, Missouri. And while my parents were away on vacation, I contacted the hospital just to see if I was a candidate, because their criteria is very strict. So I just kind of filled out the paperwork, and they called and they said, you're a candidate. You know, and they said, when would you like to schedule? And I said, hold on.
My parents come back tomorrow.
I haven't told my parents yet.
Can you fit me in?
Yeah, so, and it was a big decision because actually in that procedure, they open the spinal cord and they get to the root of what's causing the spasticity. They basically fix the phone message from the brain to the muscles, and they cut those nerves that are causing that misfire so that the brain and the muscles can get on the same page. So after doing my research on it, I thought, yes, this is what I want to do. Well, then I said, okay, does insurance cover it? No.
Because it's experimental.
It was considered experimental. They did it on the little guys. And when someone has that at a younger age, it sets them forth on a path with looser muscles so that wear and tear doesn't happen, which is a great thing. So the insurance protocol said, you're too old for that. So I worked with the hospital in St. Louis to get, you know, the medical necessity letters. I wrote a very convincing appeal letter to my insurance provider, and they were kind enough to reverse it.
Really?
Yeah, so I
Wow.
keep that letter, and I share it because it's fact-based and my experience-based. I share it with parents that are worried about insurance as well. And so far, I think we're 8 for 8 in
That
the
is
people
so
that help.
great.
So yeah, but the greatest part of that whole story, even before the insurance reversed the decision, my friends got together at the Grill at the Dome in Tonawanda, and they threw me one heck of a fundraiser, and I think they raised over $80,000. And I used that for my rehab.
That's okay.
I used that for
We're
my
casual
rehab.
here. You can just clip it right back on. Don't worry. Just put it right back on.
I used that for my rehab and my surgery and the co-pays and things like that, but I had money left over, and I said, you know what? We're paying it forward. So when I had an opportunity to help somebody in a charitable way, whether it be somebody with CP or something else, that's what I did. So
I'm going to have you hold there because we're going to fix your mic. We're going to we're going to go to break. We're going to get you all set back up, and we want to hear more about this because this is an incredible story. So don't go away. We'll be here right back on Western New York tonight in just a few minutes. We'll fix that for you.